Out now is Disney Pixar's The Good Dinosaur, the second Pixar feature of 2015, following on from Inside Out earlier this year. The film takes place in a world where dinosaurs didn't go extinct, telling the story of Arlo, a dino runt, who pairs up with a feral cave child. In this episode of Lightbox, we meet director Peter Sohn and producer Denise Ream.
First of all, did the film turn out as you expected it to in terms of things like story and the way it looked?
It was more than I ever expected.
Yeah. I think it exceeded my expectations.
Yeah.
I mean, we both came on at a time when it was quite a challenge, you know. It was troubled, and I don't think I would have ever expected it would have ended up as beautiful and sort of as emotional.
So yeah, in terms of like the scenery as well, that must have been quite difficult to produce artistically and technically. Was that something that your, I suppose, environmental department picked up on and brought through? Because it was a really lovely looking film, like it really did feel like you were taken to America. And really
I was really trying to create a world that was really immersive and visceral, just like we experienced out there, how beautiful it was. And everywhere we would go, we would comment on kind of the gorgeousness of everything, but our guides would say, look, that mountain was formed by a giant landslide. That must have been very devastating. And so trying to capture both of those things was a huge part of the process with the sets. And there was new technology kind of created for it, and you know, we worked really hard.
Yeah, but honestly, trying to work on the story and getting the story right was harder, which is incredible when you see how beautiful the movie is and how rich it is. That seems easy by comparison now than the story process. It's quite hard.
So, how far did you say that watering hole was?
I got a job for you.
I'm not really good at jobs.
I need you to keep on the dodge and sidle up the loblolly past them hornheads, just hooting and hollering and score off them rustlers. We'll cut dirt and get the bulge on them.
What? He just wants you to get on that rock and scream. But who's out there?
They'll come right at you. You hold your ground. Don't move.
Don't move? What if they have claws and big teeth?
Don't overthink it.
With the characters as well, like I found them very interesting. It was odd because when I saw it, you didn't really see them as dinosaurs. They had a very human aspect to them. So was that a struggle to get that through on screen, bringing them that kind of emotional level that an audience can relate to?
Yeah, it was a challenge that got us excited from the beginning. That whole concept of flipping it was kind of the heart of the whole thing. And so when you find Arlo, how do you make him feel like a boy lost in the woods? How do you do that? And so there are a lot of artists that help find the ways to do that. Like, you know, his eyes are a little bit bigger, his knees are a little knobbier, like he's still that growing kid, and so his reaction through the animation would all feel like that boy, you know.
But the voice, you know, the voice actors really add a lot to that sort of human emotion, and really the animators are spectacular, and what they did to plus the performance, and you know, it's just it was amazing to watch.
And as a Pixar film, it's generally aimed at children, isn't it? So it's animated. A lot of people will consider it a children's film, but there is that kind of darker side to it. Like there's a lot of adult themes that are played in the film. So there's the section, without spoiling it too much, where they get drunk from the fruit. There's all the quite traumatic parts.
It's a balance for sure, and we worked very hard to try to find what was appropriate for Arlo's story. You know, it's about a character trying to go through his fears, you know, and how does he get through it? And he would be tested in ways that were exactly what we experienced out in reality. You know, nature can be devastating, but also beautiful at the same time. And so, loss is something that we greatly talked about. It became a very personal thing, and so we wanted to respect it and be, you know, honor it. But at the same time, like the berries and everything, it's something that happened in nature. So we were just kind of exploiting everything that nature can bring.
I walked for 5 days with no water. Then I saw it, a pretty pond. I bent down to take a drink when these crocs launched out of the water. One croc bit me on the face. Ain't no way I wasn't at supper. Except for one thing. I wasn't ready for dying that day. I bit one croc in half, tail whipped the other, and the last one, well, I drowned that croc in my own blood.
Whoa. Dang!
Look, gives me little goosies every time.